The Anachronauts. They travel through time by downloading history to their brains and archive the past in order to save the future. With their trusty brain download computer, the Epic Traversier, they randomly visit the past year after year. Join them as they embark on their next adventure. Prepare yourself for Anachronology.
And what do we have next year? It was TV. So let's bring this up. TV banger year for television shows that debuted in 1989. Bring it up here, starting with
a lot of TV in '89.
I can see two here on the list right off the top that are definitely, well, one got out while the getting's good. One is still going way past its
wow
date. But the first one, Simpsons, baby, 1989. As a seasons 2 to like 9 are the golden years of the Simpsons.
Yeah, they're the gold standard for sure.
The first season is definitely like the animation's still all kind of janky,
coming off the Tracy Ullman show.
The voice actors, they sound just like the characters, but it's still like rough around the edges,
dialing it in, perfecting it. Yeah.
But and I think this coming, like I said, Tracy Ullman show, and I believe this is the shortest season. The first, I think it only had like 10 or 11 episodes or something like that, short amount. Then they get boosted up to 25 or 27, I think, subsequent seasons. And here we are, 2024. This show is still going strong. Everybody
is for the most part still alive. All the main crew are still like voicing the show. It's crazy, dude. I've even thought to myself, like, are they crazy enough to be like making AI versions of their voices so that they can just like literally Simpsons till the end of time? Like, is that really what's like, was that the battle plan when these people go? Because I mean, what are you going to do? Kill Homer off the show?
I bet. Well, this was several years ago. Harry Shearer, the guy who voices Mr. Burns and a bunch of other voices on that show, he was holding out because there was like a contract dispute of how much money he felt that him and the other voice actors should be compensated for. So I bet if there is anything along those lines, he would be the first one to bring up the lawyers into it, because this cash cow, which again, it is a shell of its former glory years, but they keep making episodes. The movie was good, but the movie was also like 15 years ago.
Oh my god, I know. And think of how long until when that movie came out from the start of the series. It's just, yeah, dude. It's just kind of a part of the zeitgeist. It's traveled. It's aged. It's like, they always say like Simpsons did it first, like some of the funny, like comedic predictions that have almost kind of mimicked itself in real life. It's a wild, weird show. And it's crazy how I remember when it first came on, the big focus was obviously Bart Simpson. And it was all about like the Bart man. And like, I just remember it was like, they had a hit because they could sell toys. They could do like cross-brand promotions off the show. The Bartman song, they were just like, let's go for it. But then they kind of tapered back. And I think, like you said, maybe that during like that Conan O'Brien writing phase, when him and all those original great writers were there, they just churned out some, like, to this day, funny shit that still lands, that's still funny as hell. It's hard to do, man.
And of course, Phil Hartman, R.I.P. Phil. He was his Lionel Hutz and Troy McClure are.
Dude, Troy McClure is the funniest
character. We do have a little video footage to guys compare and contrast. If you guys watching at home or listening at home have never seen The Simpsons, here's a little taste of some 1989 Simpsons with a lesser known character of The Simpsons.
Well, good night, son.
Yeah, good night, bud.
Dad?
Yeah?
What is the mind? Is it just a system of impulses, or is it something tangible?
Relax.
Look at him.
What is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind.
So this is first season, right?
Good night,
or is this Tracy Ullman?
This is off Tracy Ullman show.
But like the one eye is like pupil is bigger than the other. It just looks like, again, like Matt Groening like drew it on a cocktail napkin. It's so shitty and bad.
And let me see next. So this one, like I said, iconic, but stayed probably past its expiration date. This one got out while the getting's good. Seinfeld. 1989, debut of Seinfeld.
Season 1, a show about nothing.
I was thinking when I saw this, what popped in my head, for being obviously 89, taking the bulk of it in the 90s, one thing that this show doesn't suffer from at all is the absence of like it being a product of the time, like the absence of cell phones, right? Like if cell phones existed, this show would, I mean, you get Curb as kind of like, Seinfeld, but it isn't. And again, different eras, but the writing on this show, the slice of life it gave, what they were trying to do with these characters, man, the the I would say bulk of these episodes are laugh out loud funny. Sure, everything's got some stinkers, but there is the cast, lightning in a bottle. All four of them are, I mean, Jerry, he really doesn't do much except for be Jerry Seinfeld. I always have this one thing. This is how I do it.
Yeah, very one. Yep.
George Alexander, Richards. I mean, lightning in a bottle for this cast.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I like what you said about like, even though it took place in like, in into the 90s and then kind of had a very long run, really almost up to the end of the 90s, it really positioned itself at certain times where it definitely did play on kind of the things that were happening around it, but it always just felt like it was its own universe. You know what I mean? And all like, you can't even just say it was the main four, all the follow-up like supporting characters and like the long gags throughout the whole history of the show. It was just, it was incredibly well executed. And I would say that it inspired other shows to do that. And I think a show that probably has come out in the past, maybe 20 years, that's come close to what this was trying to do. I think Sunny's like that. Sunny took on that model, like, hey, I'm going to have like my four main characters who are always kind of jiving and riffing off each other, but all the returning cast, like the rogues gallery of people that are in that show that acted opposite of these people, were brilliant too.
Oh man, that's like, dude, I think if we're going like apples to oranges comparison, dude, some side characters in Always Sunny definitely rival, if not outright take.
If not, yeah, I agree with that too. That'd be a fun segment to put up some Seinfeld characters versus Sunny characters. The birth of a fun segment there. But yeah, that's true. And the cool thing about Seinfeld is like, even nowadays, if you look back at it, it's always fun, like an old show like this, to watch it and go, that person was in Seinfeld. Like obviously Bryan Cranston was one of the big names that came out of Seinfeld. And he's one of so many different actors that just came in and out of this show.
I think there's a supercut that I've seen before where it's like every one of Jerry's girlfriends that went on to be in something else, dude. And there is so many of them. So like even
many.
You said Bryan Cranston, though I can't remember her name. The woman who plays his wife in Breaking Bad, she was
Anna
Gunn.
Anna Gunn.
I can't remember if she is the lobster hands woman or not. The man hands. I can't remember who she is, but I know she is.
Incredible, dude.
So yeah, I mean, Seinfeld. You got out while the getting was good. Finale, obviously, kind of a little something we desire, but the bulk of all of those are laugh out loud funny, if not
out on top, man. That's an admirable thing.
Saved by the Bell, 1989. Are you a child of the 80s or the early 90s? Did you watch Saved by the Bell? I know I did.
Hell's yeah. I love Lisa Turtle with this like cool kind of like fucking backwards piece. Yeah, it is kind of a gang sign. And we'd be remiss to say, R.I.P. Dustin Diamond. He fell on some rougher times, I think. I don't think he really aged well out of the Saved by the Bell lifestyle. But yeah, he went out kind of, I think he died of some kind of drug overdose or something. He was hitting it hard.
No, I can't remember what, I know a guy from stand-up who was
knew him?
friendly. Yeah, knew him, friendly. He did whatever, shared the stage with him many times. Like he would open for Screech.
Ooh, don't call me Screech.
I
bet he hated that.
Oh, dude, yeah, there was. I definitely remember hearing. I never saw Screech's set, but I guess people would obviously, when all you're known for is doing that, and he was trying to talk about stuff that wasn't Saved by the Bell. He kind of
what was Mr. Belding like?
Yeah, you also probably should have kind of capitalized on a little bit, kind of know what you're getting into. But this is, I know that we have. Let me pull this up. This is one of the greatest. Oh, come on, you son of a
Kelly Kapowski. Everybody had a crush on Kelly Kapowski, and then everybody had a crush on what's her face up there in the top left after she did Showgirls.
Elizabeth Berkley is her name. and we are going to bring her up right now.
Oh, this is my
greatest,
Yes.
greatest. Their 30 seconds of TV ever.
Here we go.
Stay with me now.
Pills? You mean you really are taking drugs?
I need them.
Jesse, give me those.
I need them, Zach. I have to sing.
Jesse, you can't sing tonight.
Yes, I can. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
Oh,
Give her goddamn Emmy. Oh no, don't tease that yet. Don't tease that yet. Oh yeah, don't tease that yet. Oh, we gotta tease that. Okay,
it's like the best supercut ever. Oh man, poor Jessie, man. She was really, I think, pulled back the curtain on caffeine pill abuse. That was definitely a thing apparently that band members, high school band members of the Zack Attack were dealing with at that time.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. That is mwah. This episode obviously wasn't 89. That was in the 90s. But come on, you got to make a anti-drug stance on a sitcom about high school students. You can
that was very, very Reagan-esque there. Saved by the
It's like Euphoria. There's kids having threesomes and like overdosing, and then here's like wanting to sing in a
we've come a very long way.
So next up, which I don't want to tease, I kind of give the cat out of the bag a little bit, but Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I loved Quantum
Leap, baby. Scott Bakula going through much kind of like our, I think he had a more noble cause than us.
We're kind of like a scumbag Quantum Leap. I would like to say, we're maybe not traveling through time to get home, but we are traveling through time. We don't have what's his face, Richard Dean Anderson. Dean Stockwell. That's what it was. Yeah. Got him confused. Ziggy, his stupid weird light box that he would type into, and he'd always have like a cigar and just show up randomly in every place.
I can't remember if my mom really liked this show, and I remember watching it as well. But I can't remember if they ever described how he was able to understand Ziggy, but I always remember being like infuriated that he was like beep boop beep boop beep beep. I was like, how do you know how he's doing that?
I know. He's just pushing random buttons of light. It had no fucking interface or anything. And then I feel like he just took some kind of fucked up pride and just teasing Scott Bakula. It's like he probably could have let Scott Bakula get home. He was literally opening doors and traveling through parallel dimensions. Help a dude out.
I think the spoiler alert, if you've not seen the 1989 program Quantum Leap, I believe there is an episode where he does Quantum Leap back to his wife or his timeline or something.
Is his wife in it?
I think he's giving the Dean Stockwell's putting Ziggy beep, boop, beep, boop, on vibrate for the bang his wife, but it's got this function. But I believe he does. There's an episode where he goes and to the timeline with his wife, and she's like, "Stay with me." He's like, "I'm gonna go leap." He's like, "I'm gonna
wow, he chose the leap over her."
He came home for a little trim.
I've kind of gotten off on just being other people, because that was always the funny part. Was there'd always have to be that one moment in the show where you have to see himself in a reflection.
Oh, we're gonna bring up the best moment of that show right here.
This one is quite the. Could not really do this today moment. Let's put an asterisk on this.
Sure, am I sharing this? Excellent. Here we go.
I'm retarded?
Oh, come on. We can't give it away. We can't give it away.
Wow. Yeah, that was
oh man,
the writer's room was pumped. They were like, "This is great stuff. This is cutting edge stuff." And they even put in the camera trick of having this kind of mentally challenged person there. Just
I know he was a black guy in an episode. I know he was a woman in an episode. I think he was a white supremacist or racist in an episode.
Really? I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, they were going all over
Skinhead, Scott Bakula.
Whatever, a part of history he needed to quantum leap to the body to affect. So he was no stranger to leaping bodies that weren't his, but they straight up were like, "What haven't we done? What's going to blow people's minds?"
Right. I wonder what season they broke that big one out, that big gun. They were just like, okay, elephant in the room. What if he was retarded?
Hear me out. We got a camera trick.
Go on. We got a camera trick already ready.
The reveal will blow people's minds.
I mean, we could easily go find a retarded person. Again, 89 in all its glory. I don't feel like that would definitely those people would not be working the next day at that in that writer's room today.
Even his delivery, I wonder how much he was working on that in the trailer. I'm retarded? Am I retarded?
I am retarded?
I am retarded? But Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
He's where Dr. Bakula is not retarded. Family Matters.
I just heard the theme song. Choo, 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 choo.
Oh man,
I was just like, what is that noise? Are they sneezing?
Dude,
the theme song.
I feel like that is. Oh man, I think many years ago, we looked up who was the
singer,
singer composer. And I think it's like he did that like Full House. I could be mistaken. I know there was one guy.
He worked in the, I was gonna say that probably a group of maybe 3 guys worked in the 80s, dude. If they weren't making like awesome like cartoon intros, they were riffing on some awesome. I mean, can you even think of a memorable? I would say in the past. In the past like 20 years, memorable like theme songs to actual sitcoms or shows, Sunny and Curb. And they're the dumbest little like needle drop tracks, but they just like you could hear them and go, bam, that's that show.
I'll give a shout out to that the Game of Thrones. It's
Boom.
also, but I mean, again,
definitely
we're going across like we need to go like 5-10 years in between like iconic songs. I know
the sitcoms, TGIF too. This was one of the like crown jewels in that fucking like Friday night lineup, dude.
Yeah, dude, the TGIF.
Where's Urkel, bro? It's just weird to see a picture of Family Matters and where's fucking Jaleel White to come in and be fucking annoying.
I believe it was the second season when they figured out that people loved Urkel. So Urkel was not made part of the like front and center, promos.
Remember the grandma? Remember she was all sassy.
Estelle might have been her name. Then there was the unwed mother aunt and like little Ricky. I think it was her.
Oh my god, the unwed mother aunt. Yeah.
I remember when the little kid was growing up, they gave him like the greasy. Oh, they gave him like greasy. That's the wrong word. Like the Soul Glow Jerry girl.
Yeah.
Like, but on a little kid.
And then Eddie. Like I remember Eddie's whole track. And then what was Eddie's friend?
Waldo
Faldo,
dude. Oh yeah,
Waldo Faldo or something.
That kid stole the show too.
Yeah.
And famously, Reginald Vale Johnson playing a police officer yet again. He was kind of aside from was it Crocodile Dundee where he plays a limousine driver. I think he was like a cop in Die Hard 2, this Ghostbusters, and I think something else. He was
just cashing checks on this show. This show went on for a while.
Yeah,
because it followed the kids at least. I mean, at one point, I mean, it was like Eddie goes to college and they're like in their senior year. It's just like, boy, they hung tight and they just exhausted any scenario that could happen on this show, like any long running sitcom.
I remember there's an episode where Eddie gets beat up. I think these kids trash like the aunt's restaurant, and Eddie tries to go stop and he gets beat up, and then his dad, Carl Winslow, he solves it the only way he knows how, by doing this.
I shot a kid.
That is the. Come on, stop fucking around here.
That's hardcore, Officer Winslow.
Yeah, I shot a kid. That's the unknown, the bloodlust that Reginald Vale Johnson's Carl Winslow had because somebody messed with his boy Eddie. But
see, there's some writers like, let's tip this over the edge. Like, what if Officer Winslow shot a kid?
Ooh. Let's raise the stakes. But let's hear me out. It's Urkel. No. You can't be Urkel. You shot me.
He lives. He's badly wounded. He lives.
I think he called him Big Guy. What's going on, Big Guy? You're drawing down on me with your service revolver, Big Guy. Shut up, Urkel.
You're leaning on me hard.
Chip and Dale's Rangers, homie.
All right, so we are bringing some cartoons into the mix. Yeah, really good. Like, this was kind of the I don't know, maybe did DuckTales come before this? Like, what was the first real like kind of jaunt into the huge Disney cartoon cycle, because they went ham I mean, everything had a Disney just went nuts in like maybe the late 80s with these kinds of cartoons.
You know, that's a good. I think, man, I think DuckTales. Maybe these might come out at the same time. Maybe this came after. Maybe DuckTales was like a hit, and this was like because they had DuckTales. So like, let's do another animals, little tiny animals that animate.
Let's grab some Disney IP and wrap a whole show around it. And I mean, Chip and Dale are kind of perfect. You talk about another earworm. They had amazing theme songs. DuckTales is slaps. Rescue Rangers. It's probably again the same three dudes that sang it. Yeah, and then I always remember. Okay, I know Monterey Jack is the big dude. Chip and Dale,
Zipper. And then is it Gadget or Gidget? It's Gadget, right? Is it or Gidget Mouse?
I think it's Gadget or Gidget. Yeah, I think you nailed that. But yeah, I also remember too. I don't know why. It's a tie-in, but I remember how awesome the Nintendo Chip and Dale's game was. Oh, yeah. It was hard as shit, and it was just like 2D scroller. Your Chip and Dale. It was all wild as fuck.
Oh yeah, but I like the staple that this was coming home or whatever, after school block. Definitely watching me some chippy.
Oh, totally. Watch hours of this show.
Rescue Ranger, Tales from the Crypt, HBO baby. Dude, one of the greatest mascots for any show ever.
God, like he's terrifying.
Oh yeah, and he would always be whatever like the show having to take place like in a bar. He'd like pop up like a bartender, or
he would, and he'd always be like shaky and creepy, like in like maniacally laughing.
Taxi cab driver, or all these different, they would just use they could literally put him in anywhere.
Yeah. It was edgy for the time too, and you're right. I remember like watching it, and it was like, there was like kind of gory and scary and violent or whatever, but yeah, and then they had like 3 or 4 different movie spinoffs that were kind of like hit or miss.
And this was cool. I guess the executive producers, Richard Donner, David Giler.
Richard Donner is a big time movie director.
David Giler, Giler. I feel like I should know who that is. Walter Hill, also a great.
Oh my god, yeah.
Joel Silver.
Oh, big swingers in this.
And Robert Zemeckis. So I mean,
hells yeah.
And I know we could probably go list on all of the, famous actors who also did a stint or an episode of Tales from the Crypt, but that is not too shabby for 1989, having Richard Donner, Walter Hill, Joel Silver, and Robert Zemeckis. And I'm sorry, David Giler. I don't know. I guess I should know you are.
If you think about it, really, I mean, in that time, 89, I think the model of this, like making this kind of long form kind of anthology series where they do that so much today, where they bring in, a guest director comes on, directs it. There's, the one-off person, celebrity that's in it. This was doing that shit back in 89, and it was doing it in the horror genre, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's also, like what is this? What was the other one? What's one that wasn't Tales from the Crypt? And I think I don't remember the name of it because it's not Tales from the Crypt, but the often imitated, never duplicated. It's not often.
Oh yeah.
You have I think probably the next thing that was successful was like American Horror Story, because I wouldn't consider
in this genre possibly,
but even and obviously this was more like story of the week, so definitely different. But as far as being on HBO too, getting funding to tell some spooky stories, pretty good job.
Way to go, Crypt Keeper.
Doogie Howser, MD.
Talk about suspend disbelief in 89. A kid can be your doctor, and he was a surgeon, right? Wasn't he like even more than a doctor?
He was he a
maybe he wasn't a surgeon? Am I making that up?
I remember watching a lot of 1989. I was 6, maybe 7 or whatever. I can't remember if he was a pediatrician or just like an ER nurse.
They gave some like underhand toss doctor.
I want to see
general practitioner.
I want to see the crossover between Doogie Howser, MD, and
House.
Yeah, dude, that's what I want to see. That would be.
Yeah, he has an opioid addiction. He's like shaking in surgery,
poking him with his cane. Just listen here, you little son of a bitch.
I need some goddamn fruit snacks. Jesus Christ.
I have a photographic memory. You're 8. But and then I can always see at the end of every episode, there was the life lesson where he would be typing in his computer and then he would write, he's like, I think I learned a lot today. And then he'd be like, delete it. And then he would say something, be like, I think I learned a lot for the rest of my life or something. You know what I mean?
It
It
was
would always
always some funny little
yeah,
thing.
some like
Yeah.
hallmarky, put it on a greeting card.
I just always think of his friend Vinny. Doog.
Benny Del Pino.
That dude was like so one note, and like he's obviously gone on to be in like I feel like he was in some Scorsese movies and shit. Like dude's kind of shows up in some cameos.
Was he in Band of Brothers too? I think.
Yes, he was in Band of Brothers. And I mean, and then you speak about just somebody that aged well. I mean, Neil Patrick Harris, NPH. I mean, I feel like he had his big renaissance. He did How I Met Your Mother, Harold and Kumar, and you know, he's just there. He's around. He's still kicking
I will give tip the hat to the old NPH to go from kid star leading a TV show known as the Wunder Kid Dr. Doogie Howser to then the Poon Hound Barney, whatever his name is on How I Met Your Mother. Good turn.
Good turn.
Speaking of awesome intros, we just need to share screen. Look on with Hana. We got this, and then just hit me with it.
That's right. Hit up our playlists on our YouTube channel. You can watch the whole thing there.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, this thing still slaps. I mean, really, you talk about the first reality TV show, but goddamn, bro, it's just like you talk about this was what people wanted back then. We wanted to see people get fucking arrested in every city in the fucking country.
So good. So, is this like a whole 2-minute intro? Let me see here.
Yeah, and they would change them every few seasons. They'd have like new clips from obviously. I mean, did they officially stop Cops? Like, do they do? I don't know if they do Cops. There's been like 100 different, like you talk about just stealing the formula kind of like reality cop shows.
They were doing live Cops for a while where they would have like the ability to dude. They would have like, we're in Houston, dude, but there would be like Indianapolis, Houston, Buffalo, Vegas. They would have different crews. Like, let's go check in with our boots on the ground in Decatur, Illinois. But dude, this
wild, man. It's honestly brilliant. You have to give it to whomever was just like, there's always crime, there's always crazy people, there's always cops. Like, dude, let's tag a camera guy on this shit.
Dude, it was probably some executive or some whoever, and he's like, yeah, my brother-in-law's a cop, and he has all this crazy shit that happens, and I think, man, we should like put a TV camera that are just
dude, I know, and like to be I always gave like mad props to the cops camera guys, man. They sometimes they'd be outrunning the cops. Like it was pretty awesome. And then I always thought it was really funny how just because Cops was so big, it was always great when some dude in Cops would be like, is this going to be on TV? Am I on Cops? It was like a badge of honor to have been on Cops. Sign that release form, baby.
Oh man, and there is. Oh man, I wonder if Netflix has the library of Cops or if whatever.
You're right. You talk about syndication gold,
dude. Bingeable.
I would watch Cops now. It's so funny. I think nowadays we have so much variety of things to watch. Give me Cops. Give me the full 89 to whenever, however many 20 years they did Cops. I would burn through those because they were what? Like 27 minutes, 26 minutes long, maybe even less with commercial breaks.
I think they were hour longs. I can't remember.
Wow.
That's a good question. I can't remember, but give me the library of Cops.
Wow, 89 that was a correct statement. Stacked. This is a stacked 89 television year. It's wild.
Except this one. This one I also remember watching as a kid. Hey, dude.
We had to bring up some Nickelodeon. Yeah, there's Ben Stiller's wife there. What's her name?
Oh yeah, what's her name? That's right. That is her.
Dude.
Oh yeah, I definitely when I saw this on the list, I was like, oh my god, this was 1989. But it makes sense because I do remember going down to like having Sunday dinner and like there was the main TV that like the adults could watch, and there was like a little bedroom TV that
go watch Nickelodeon in there.
Being 6 years old, 7 years old. Hey dude, I definitely remember watching Hey Dude.
That was a big one on Nick, man. Nick had their whole like weird show lineup too. Salute Your Shorts. I don't know when that was in that bracket of like lineup.
I don't think that's 80s, but yeah, I think that's 90s. But I definitely watched me some Salute Your Shorts. And this, I think, like the premise was they're on a dude
Fucking
ranch,
Mets,
obviously.
doopy little fucking Mets fan in the middle there.
I can't remember any pressing.
I don't know any of these characters or
Dude,
any
you know
of
what I
their
mean?
relationships. Ted, obviously, with his name tag.
Yeah, like whatever issue
Fucking
that
train
arose on the dude ranch. I just know this kid on the right, that he was like half Indian and he was like the
They had
rich.
to throw him in there just
Oh, yeah.
because it is so white. It's just like whitewashed late 80s television.
What's his name?
Ethnicity in there.
Mets kid. He was the owner's son, the guy who
Yeah,
ran the dude
That
ranch.
looks like him, yeah.
I think the dark-haired girl was his like niece, and then Ben Stiller's wife was like she lived in Arizona or New Mexico, and she was
There
I'm a
for the
local, and I
summer?
work here. You know, I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
local, I work here. And then this kid, I don't know if he was
Ted.
Yeah, Ted. I can't remember if like Ted like
Heartthrob.
I think it was like his parents divorced, and he's like, oh, I had to move out here with my dad.
Yeah.
Said
Give him
that I
some
had to-
backstory.
Yeah, so he was like the bad boy, but you
The
know,
bad boy of the dude ranch.
yeah, bad boy.
Hey, dude.
But yeah, I definitely remember watching me some Hey Dude. What do we got here? We'll try and get out of this category, I think. So, oh, and here we go. Life goes on. So this
Another just like it happened in the 80s show. Yeah, man. Corky.
so this like another one where I remember seeing
Yeah.
a
My mom
lot of
loved this show.
episodes, but I can't remember any of the plot from any of them. But I do remember this being
Well,
like
we
family
know one point of the plot.
yeah. It's pretty front and center.
That one's there. I mean, Broadway's Patti LuPone. I mean, she's no, she's no chicken feed. I mean, she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna take a bite out of this juicy roll. And I remember my mom cried a lot watching the show. I like, if you know, like, you can remember like when your mom cried as a kid. I just remember just like the tissues. Oh my God, life goes on tonight. Okay, Ma.
bringing the feel good family into your living room.
Cork was definitely the Urkel of that show. Cork, he was famous. Like he was just out front center, dog. And like, I mean, he was the actor kind of just did that thing. I don't remember like, I'd like a deep dive, almost a Hollywood Reporter deep dive on the actor. What happened?
In the vein of all of these, well-known theme songs, we're going to play a little. This one, although it's not the Beatles rendition, it is. You'll know it. You'll know it if you know it, folks.
Mm-hmm. They paid a price for this.
Oh yeah.
Paul McCartney's like, okay, that's fine.
Desmond had a barrow in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Mom
Hey.
is a singer in a band.
They're all singing Beatles, right?
Look at that coffee back there.
Yeah, you know the song. You know the song. We don't need to get deep.
I mean, obviously, there's Patti LuPone out front singing,
Right.
hogging the mic.
So what also got kicked up here, AI producer, was the alternate take or opening to the show, and it should have been this, in my opinion.
Whoa.
Celebrate. Let's all come together and celebrate. 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 It's a celebration of love. Celebrate. Celebrate.
This
Let's all
should have
come
been
together and celebrate.
Hit it, Chris Burke.
Celebrate.
Is this
Celebrate.
Chris
It's a
Burke like way
celebration
post
of
Life Goes On?
love.
He's looked like he's aged a
Oh, yeah.
lot.
Oh yeah, that is
This was the alternate intro to Life Goes On. Yeah, he's hanging in. He's hanging tight. Chris Burke, respect.
I am Chris Burke, I am not making fun of you at all. More power to you. I am glad that you are doing something you enjoy. I am wondering, those two like guitar players,
What's their fucking
how
angle?
did they get his hooks into Chris Burke? Because
And they're not even really letting him sing. They were all singing really loud. I feel like that's just some pageantry right there, guys.
But,
Sick. You sick fucks.
I wanna
Parading
know
around this poor guy.
what was the contract they drafted up for Chris Burke?
Celebrate. And I'm going to be singing it all night. It's great.
Oh man. So
Can I
was
get that on a cassette? Yeah, that was great. That was an awesome.
that was some
awesome TV
1989
segment.
TV. An honorable mention was Baywatch,
yeah.
but we're running long. That's also another, talk about iconic intros. You can go check it out. All of these on our YouTube channel. We got a nice playlist called 1989 TV. Go listen to some Chris Burke and Friends Celebrate song. You'll be singing it all week long. And we will take one more commercial break and come back with our last category and last segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.